Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is still playing out this oversold signal, which means the price is now breaking out above this key line of resistance, activating a new bullish price target. But just before that bullish price target, we also have this important area of resistance to watch out for. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment, alongside the price of Solana, which is continuing to move towards this critical area of resistance, while the price of XRP is still playing out this short-term bullish signal. So I'll be talking about all of that and more later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, starting off on the weekly Bitcoin chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin is technically still within a bull market because we're technically forming higher lows and higher highs, which is indeed a larger bullish trend. So as I always say, of course, we can see pullbacks and short-term dumps and sideways consolidations here and there during the larger bullish trend or the bull market. So at least for now, that is the current situation. And if we're taking a look at this 4-day Bitcoin chart, the super trend indicator is still sitting in the green, indicating a larger bullish trend. But if we're taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin chart, obviously just a couple of weeks ago, we did confirm a bearish crossover in the weekly Bitcoin MACD. But as I've also said since then, we haven't really seen a significant amount of bearish momentum. So ultimately, in the somewhat shorter term here on the weekly time frame, we're kind of lacking momentum to either direction. As we could see, we're still basically within a bit of a sideways price range, just consolidating sideways, seeing some short-term bullish moves and some short-term bearish moves, mainly just chopping around sideways. And so not all that much has changed here on this weekly time frame over the last few days. And if we're taking a look at this weekly Bitcoin chart, of course, we still have a massive bearish divergence to pay attention to, with higher highs already confirmed in the price in the candle closes and lower highs confirmed in the weekly Bitcoin RSI. And as usual, a bearish divergence means we're basically losing bullish momentum in this bull market here. So in other words, the bull market is slowing down. And so essentially not much has changed on the larger timeframes over the last few days and even over the last few weeks. As I've been saying over the last few weeks, we're most likely going to see potentially a little bit more choppy sideways price action, just seeing a lack in momentum in the shorter term, but still during a larger bull market, a larger bullish trend. At least for now, we've not yet confirmed any bear market or anything like that. But if you want something new to look at pretty much every few days that's flipping between bullish and bearish, then of course you zoom into the smaller timeframes, because here on the smaller timeframes, this flips between bearish and bullish much more often, as we can see. And as I'm recording this video on this 8-hour Bitcoin chart, the price of Bitcoin is continuing to bounce from this area of support, which is still acting as strong support, sitting in between around 95,000 to 96,000. And as I'm recording this video, the price is pretty much just now running into this area of resistance where we have previously seen multiple rejections from, and that's sitting in between around 98,500 to 99,000. So expect the price to potentially struggle around there. But if we can actually see candle closes back above 99,000, in that case, we'll likely go well beyond 100,000, potentially up towards this area of resistance in between 101,000 to 103,000. And then around there on the price chart, we'll likely see the price struggle if we first see that breakout above 98.5k to 99k. And in a more bullish scenario, if we break out above both of those areas of resistance, we also have significant resistance at around 106,000 to 107,000. So just keep that in mind as well. But overall, as we could see, we're basically within a massive sideways price range. Even for the last couple of months here, we've basically just been chopping around sideways, seeing short-term bearish and short-term bullish moves. And just over the last couple of weeks, we've basically been in a miniature sideways price range during the larger sideways price range, which is during a bull market, a larger bullish trend. So obviously it's all about perspective, all about the different time frames. The larger time frames are still looking bullish, as I've been saying this entire time. But of course, during the larger bull market, as I've been saying for the last few weeks, we're lacking momentum, playing out a lot of choppy sideways price action. And of course, that latest pullback here And the immediate short term, at least for now, while we're not yet breaking out above 99,000, the immediate short term is still looking somewhat neutral in terms of the trend and momentum, because at least for now, as of recording this video, we're still within this short term sideways price range. But if we can finally see that confirmed breakout back above 99,000 with candle closes above that level, then at least in the short term, as in over the next few days, we'll finally be looking a little bit more bullish again. But remember, this is still occurring within a much larger sideways price range. So when we're talking about the massive moves in the price of Bitcoin, like what we saw, for example, in November last year, obviously, at least for now, we're still lacking the momentum. We don't really have the momentum as of right now compared to what we saw back in November. But of course, in the shorter term, the price of Bitcoin is currently breaking out from this short-term price pattern, activating a new bullish price target, which I'll talk about in just a moment. But first, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of Bitcoin or any other crypto, personally, I'm starting to take more trades over on 2bit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to 2bit below this video in the description and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link, it'll take you to this page right here where you can claim some massive bonuses that are only available using that link. So for example, if you click that link to make your account, which takes less than a minute, you get a free $30 bonus on your account just by making an account using that link. And you can use that 30 USDT to make a trade over on 2bit. And on top of that 30 USDT bonus, there's also a 20% deposit rebate up to a max of 200 USDT. So basically, if you deposit 100 USDT, you get $20 back as an extra bonus. Or if you deposit 1,000 USDT, you get a 200 USDT bonus on top of that other 30 USDT bonus. And then for the larger traders out there, there's also massive rewards, like for example, a brand new Mercedes-Benz or 50,000 USD, or Rolex watches, or $6,000 holiday, or gold bars, or Apple watches, etc., simply just by trading crypto using that link. And on top of all of that, if you use the link below this video to 2bit, you are automatically upgraded to VIP level 1 trading fees, which basically means you get a massive discount on the trading fees. You get lower trading fees on 2bit, but only if you use the link below this video to make your 2bit account and start trading on that account. And so if you're going to be trading crypto anyway, you might as well check this out. Once again, first link below this video. And in case you're wondering, 2bit is a no KYC exchange, which means you can access it from basically any country in the world without needing any KYC. And another no KYC exchange out there is also Bitfinex. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bitfinex below this video. It'll be the second link below this video to Bitfinex, which is also another no KYC exchange, once again, where you can claim some massive rewards over here using that link. But with that being said, taking a look at this Bitcoin chart on the 4-hour time frame, and as of recording this video, the price of Bitcoin is currently attempting a breakout above this descending line of resistance. And I'm saying attempting a breakout because at least at the time of recording this video, we've not yet actually confirmed a candle close above this line of resistance. But at the current rate, it is looking very likely that we could soon confirm this candle close above this descending line of resistance. And in case you're wondering, in case you're new to this channel, this line of resistance is currently sitting at just above around 97,000, around 97.2k. And so obviously, as of right now, it is looking likely we will confirm this breakout here for this descending broadening wedge pattern, which is a bullish pattern, by the way. And of course, we successfully bounced from this line of support for the descending broadening wedge pattern. And in case you're wondering, that line of support is sitting closer towards around 93,000 approximately. And when it comes to the technical price targets for this descending broadening wedge pattern breakout, we actually have two price targets based on this price pattern. The first price target is simply the top of the wedge, which is sitting at approximately 99.5k. So that is the price target to watch out for as of right now, and especially if we see the candle close above this line of resistance, once again 99.5k. And the secondary price target is a measured move from the top of the wedge to the bottom of the wedge like this, and then we take the measured move over to the point of the breakout and take a look at the secondary price target, which is sitting at just above $103,000 per Bitcoin. So from the point of the breakout to that price target, that was a possible 6% move, or from where we are as of recording this video to that price target, that's still around a 5% move towards the upside. So obviously not a life-changing move, but a 5% move with a 10x leverage long position, for example, can be a 50% profit. But as I always say, of course, between the price and this price target, there are other points of resistance that we need to pay attention to. Just because we have a price target, we cannot ignore resistance. So as I said earlier, expect potentially some resistance at close towards 99,000. And then above that, expect more resistance in between 101,000 to 103,000. So just keep that in mind. And of course, as usual, with any of these patterns like this, if we actually see a break back below the point of the breakout, back below this line at roughly around 97,000, in that case, that would invalidate the breakout, invalidate this pattern, and invalidate the price target. And if we're taking a look at this 4-hour Bitcoin chart, obviously another reason as to why we're potentially seeing a little bit more of a bullish relief here in the short term is due to the fact that we're still, as of right now, playing out this oversold signal in the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI. And obviously I mentioned this in my last video here on the channel, saying that of course we did hit oversold territories over the last couple of days, which is usually a signal telling us that we're basically at some sort of local low in the price, not necessarily the bottom. Of course, eventually the price can potentially at some point go lower than that previous point. And so as I usually say, this signal by itself does not necessarily guarantee a massive bullish trend reversal, but it at least means that we're likely going to see a little bit of a bullish relief here in the short term, which once again is one of the reasons as to why we are currently seeing a bullish relief. We're simply playing out this oversold signal. And if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, as of right now, the price of Bitcoin is approaching this major level of liquidity, which I did actually mention in my last video here on the channel. I said we have quite a lot of liquidity, a decent amount of liquidity building at very close to 99,000, basically around 98.8K to 98.9K. And as of recording this video, we currently have approximately $250 million, over $250 million worth of liquidations, basically short positions that will get liquidated if the price of Bitcoin simply breaks out above that price level. So if we see a breakout above around 99,000, above this area of resistance, that could possibly trigger a small short squeeze. And as I usually say, the price of Bitcoin most of the time, not always, but a lot of the time, tends to move towards where there's a lot of liquidity. And we did that to the downside. We did have a lot of liquidity previously that was sitting at basically around 93 to 94,000. And then the price of Bitcoin came down towards that and then it wiped out a bunch of long positions. And then basically we're doing the opposite. We're coming up towards this major liquidity towards the upside to potentially wipe out a bunch of short positions. So just keep that in mind. And if we're taking a look at the price of Ethereum on the 3-day time frame, of course, Ethereum is following the price of Bitcoin. Very similar price action, as I usually say. Expect similar price action for Ethereum and a lot of the major altcoins as to what Bitcoin is doing. So if Bitcoin has a bounce in the short term, obviously Ethereum is going to play out something similar. And as of right now, we are approaching this Fibonacci level, which is currently acting as resistance, and that's sitting at roughly around 2.8K. So definitely pay attention to 2.8K as a key level on the price chart. But if we can finally see a confirmed breakout with some strong candle closes above 2.8K, and especially if we can actually flip that into new support, that isn't necessary, but that'll just be extra confirmation. In that case, if we confirm the breakout above 2.8K, expect a continued relief, potentially up towards around 3,000, because around 3,000 to 3.1K, that's where I would expect the next major resistance. But if we fail to actually confirm a breakout back above 2.8K, and instead we see just another rejection from this short-term resistance, in that case, we still have a lot of support at roughly around 2,500 and just above 2,500, and a lot more support at around 2.3K, and also in between 2,150 to 2.2K, acting as strong support. But there's not really too much else to add here for Ethereum, because right now, not a lot has changed over the last 1 day for Ethereum. And like I've been saying, of course, expect something similar for Ethereum as what Bitcoin is doing. So really just pay attention to Bitcoin to get a good idea on what a lot of the altcoin market will do. And with that being said, taking a look at the price of Solana on the 8-hour time frame, and just like Bitcoin and Ethereum, of course, Solana is following along with very similar price action, currently bouncing from this area of support, which in case you're new to the channel, this area of support is still sitting in between 156 to 161, and we bounced from pretty much exactly $161. But at least for now, in the short term, the price of Solana is approaching an important area of resistance based on previous support becoming new resistance, and that's sitting in between around 178 to 183. So expect the price to potentially struggle around there, but if we can actually see a confirmed breakout back above 183, in that case, the next resistance I'll be watching is at around 190, and above that, we have important resistance in between around 200 to 205. But technically speaking, the trend and the momentum on this 8-hour Solana chart is technically still bearish because we've not yet confirmed any bullish trend reversal despite seeing a short-term bounce from support, because obviously we have bounced from these previous levels of support before during this bearish trend. And so in order to become more confident in a bullish trend reversal, expecting more bullish momentum, we need to see more than just a bounce from support. For example, we need to see at least a breakout above some important resistance, so at least breaking out back above around 180 approximately and actually holding that as new support. And especially if we form some sort of higher low on the price chart, that is bullish price structure. That is what I'll be watching out for in order to start flipping more bullish again in terms of the trend and momentum. And if we're taking a quick look at the price of XRP on this daily time frame, the price of XRP, as of recording this video, is still running into this area of resistance, sitting in between around $2.65 to $2.80. So continue to expect the price to struggle around there. And as for support, we do have a decent amount of support at around $2.50 and more support in between $2.25 to $2.30. And as for other points of resistance to the upside, if we actually can finally see a confirmed breakout above around $2.80, in that case, I would expect more resistance at close to $3 and also around $3.20. And if we can very soon see a breakout above $2.80, we could possibly have a short-term cup and handle pattern here on the daily time frame, which I talked about in my last video. And of course, that would also potentially cement a higher low in place on the daily time frame if we can right now see a breakout above this resistance. So basically, if we break out above this resistance, that would be very bullish over the next few days or possibly weeks for the price of XRP. But for now, we're still waiting for a breakout. Obviously, we're still struggling around this area of resistance. And if we're zooming into the shorter term, looking at the 2-hour XRP chart, obviously over the last couple of days, the price of XRP has very nicely played out this short-term bullish divergence, essentially the exact opposite to this previous short-term bearish divergence. So obviously for roughly around half a week, the previous bearish divergence perfectly played out in the form of a short-term pullback, as we could see. And right now, we're simply just doing the opposite. A bullish divergence usually plays out in the form of either a bullish relief or at the very least some choppy sideways price action. And at least for now, even though the RSI is getting closer towards oversold territories, we're not there just yet, and we've not really invalidated the bullish divergence. So technically speaking, it is still currently active here in the short term. Just keep in mind the fact that we are running into resistance as of right now. So obviously the price can struggle around this area, potentially causing a bit of choppy sideways price action in the shorter term. And as usual, for the XRP holders out there, also pay attention to the price of Bitcoin, even if you don't hold Bitcoin, because if Bitcoin has a major bullish move or major bearish move, it will very likely influence the price of XRP. So keep that in mind as well. And if we're taking a look at the price of Chainlink on this daily time frame, Chainlink is currently bouncing from this important retracement level, acting as support at around $17.70 approximately. So for now, obviously, that is still support. We never actually confirmed a break below that level with candle closes, but if you were to actually confirm a break to the downside below around $17.60 to $17.70, in that case, we have the important golden pocket area of support sitting in between around $14.90 to $15.50. And if we see a further bounce here in the short term from around $17.70, in that case, the resistance I'll be watching is sitting in between $19.50 to $20, acting as strong resistance. And in terms of the price structure, structure, it's not really changed over the last one day. The larger price structure or trend or momentum on this daily time frame is still currently bearish, but the short-term trend and momentum is currently neutral. We're in a short-term sideways price range, as we can see, chopping around sideways between support and resistance. And once again, if you want to trade any of these moves in the price of any crypto, check out the links below this video to those exchanges if you want to claim some massive bonuses that you can only claim using those links. And if you want to actually know how to trade crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or chopping around sideways, you can profit from all of that price action by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can profit from bullish or bearish price action using long positions or short positions, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.